Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a fundamental law, one that quietly governs pretty much all of our success and failure. Think of it like this invisible force that once you understand it, can unlock some truly radical, positive change in your life.
So, to kick things off, I've got a choice for you. It sounds simple, but it's actually pretty profound. And trust me, your answer is going to reveal a ton about how our brains are wired and, why so many of us accidentally miss the path to incredible success.
Okay, here are your two options. Option A, $3 million. Cash. It's in your bank account, like right now. No catch, no strings. Option B, a single penny. Yep, just 1 cent. But this isn't just any penny. It has a kind of superpower. It doubles in value every single day for 31 days. Now, be honest, if you're like, 95% of people out there, your gut is screaming, take the cash, right? And that instinct? That's exactly what we're here to unpack.
All right, let's dive in and explore why that seemingly ridiculous choice, the penny, is actually the key to, just about everything. This is where we get to unveil the hidden math that most people just completely miss.
Okay, so you chose the penny. And at first, the progress is just painfully slow. I mean, look at this. After 5 days, you've got a measly 16 cents. Whoopee. After 10 days, you're barely over $5. Even after 20 long days, you're only at about $5,000. Meanwhile, your friend who took the cash is probably on a yacht somewhere. This right here, this is the exact point where most people would feel like a total fool and just quit.
And get this, even as we get super close to the end, on day 29, after nearly a whole month of this doubling thing, your penny's worth $2.7 million. You are still behind the person who took the $3 million up front. Can you imagine the psychological pressure? The feeling that you made the wrong choice? It would be immense. But then, the magic happens. On that very last day, day 31, that one little penny has exploded to over $10.7 million. That's more than 3 times the initial cash offer. Now that is the stunning, mind-bending power of compounding.
So this brings us to the core idea here, the compound effect. It's really just the principle of reaping these huge, massive rewards from a series of small, smart choices. But the key is, they have to be made consistently over time. The problem for us is that our brains, they're wired for linear thinking. We expect that 1 unit of effort should equal 1 unit of results. We just don't naturally grasp this kind of crazy exponential growth.
And this mismatch in our thinking leads to something author James Clear calls the valley of disappointment. It's that frustrating gap you see, where you're putting in all this effort, but it feels completely wasted because you're expecting instant, linear results. But reality is a curve. And this valley, my friends, this is the graveyard where diets fail, gym memberships go unused, and all our best intentions go to die.
So, okay, that's the math. But how does this actually show up in our everyday lives? Because it's not just about money, right? It's about these tiny, almost invisible little 1-degree shifts that, believe it or not, completely determine our destiny.
Think about this for a second. Imagine a plane taking off from LA, and its destination is New York City. Now, what if the pilot adjusts the nose of the plane just 1 single degree to the south? I mean, that's a change so tiny, no one on board would even feel it. But that plane, it's not going to land in New York. It'll end up hundreds of miles off course, somewhere down around Washington, D.C., all from one tiny little change at the start.
So what's a 1-degree shift in your life? Well, it's eating an extra 125 calories a day. That's literally half a candy bar. It's reading 10 fewer pages of a book at night. It's hitting that snooze button for just 10 more minutes. None of these things feel like a big deal in the moment, right? Nobody gets unhealthy from one burger. But over time, these tiny little deviations, they compound into a radically different destination.
And this brings us right to the core formula of the whole thing. It's really not about making massive, heroic efforts. It's just this simple. Small, smart choices plus consistency plus time equals a radical difference. That's it. That's the secret sauce.
Okay, so let's make this even more real. Let's see how these little shifts actually play out in a practical story. We're going to follow 3 friends who all start from the exact same place in life. So meet Scott, Brad, and Larry. They're all pretty similar. Same kind of jobs, incomes, family lives. You get the picture. Scott, he just kind of coasts. He keeps doing what he's always done, so nothing really changes. Brad, on the other hand, makes a few tiny, seemingly harmless negative choices. He watches a little more TV, adds 1 extra beer a week.
Meanwhile, Larry makes a few small, positive choices. He reads just 10 pages of a good book each day and cuts a mere 125 calories from his diet. Now, after 10 months, you look at the three of them, and you can't see any difference at all. But fast forward to 31 months later, Brad is now overweight, he's in debt, and he's pretty unhappy. Scott is, well, he's exactly where he started, just a couple years older. And Larry? Larry is 30 pounds lighter, he's earned a promotion because of everything he learned from reading, and he's absolutely thriving.
Okay, so now that we get the principle, the really crucial question becomes, how do we actually harness this force to work for us instead of against us? This next part is all about that, a practical guide to putting this to work.
First off, let's peek at the neuroscience for a sec, because it's pretty cool. Every single time you repeat an action, the neural pathway for that action gets wrapped in this fatty substance called myelin. Think of it like insulating a wire. The more you do something, the thicker that myelin gets, which makes the habit faster and more automatic. So you are literally, physically training your brain for success or for failure with every single small choice you make.
So, with that in mind, here are 4 concrete steps you can take to get in control. Number 1, track everything. You just can't manage what you don't measure. Number 2, create momentum. Remember, that start is always the hardest part. 3, design your environment for success. Basically, make good habits easy and bad habits hard. And finally, number 4, and this one is huge, you have got to practice patience.
You know, the absolute best analogy for patience is the Chinese bamboo tree. For 4 long years, you water it, you care for it, and absolutely nothing happens above the ground. It looks like a total failure. But what you can't see is that all the growth is happening beneath the surface, building this massive, strong root system. And then, in its 5th year, it just explodes, shooting up 80 feet in just 6 weeks. Your efforts aren't being wasted. You're just growing your roots.
And here's the big takeaway. If you remember nothing else, the compound effect is always running. It's on 24/7. It's a totally neutral law, just like gravity, and it's working right this very second. So the only question you have to ask yourself is this: is it working for you, or is it working against you?
Because in the end, it all comes back to this simple but incredibly powerful formula. And I want you to remember, it's not about intensity, it's about consistency. Small, smart choices repeated over time, that is what will create a radical difference in your life.
So I'm going to leave you with this one thought. Forget about trying to conquer the world tomorrow. What is the one tiny, 1-degree shift, that one small positive choice that you can commit to starting today? Just pick one thing and do it consistently. Because the real power, it's all in just getting started.